Hey everyone, Louis V here from Vinyl Latte, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of the new Beatles box set. This is the 1964 Mono box set, which actually contains, I think, 7 albums, if I remember correctly, all released within the years of 1964, but also I believe there's one from 1965, one or two from 1965. These are all the US mono cuts, but they've been remastered to bring back the dynamics of the albums. When these originally came out and originally were mastered, the age-old story is that these lower-end turntables, otherwise known as kiddie tables, couldn't handle the dynamics. The needle would literally just pop out of the groove and skip across the record. So they dialed back the dynamics in the original press. Well, apparently they've been remastered to bring back those dynamics. So now we're going to hear the Beatles as intended, as I would like to say, as intended, and I heard is nothing short of spectacular. So I'm really, really excited. I wanted to share this with you. This is the box that it came in, and I ordered this at my local record store. So I didn't order this online. I didn't order this at, Amazon or anything, but this is from my local record store, and I wanted to share this with you in this format because look how cool they packaged this. This is all padded box. You see that? All the pads there around it to make sure that the box didn't get damaged. I mean, I just think that's really cool. I just got a different box set that showed up in the mail that just had bubble wrap around it to protect it from being damaged. So I think this is just extra special care to make sure that the box set arrives undamaged. Now, I haven't pulled this out of the box yet, so I don't know if there is some underlying corner dents or anything like that, but I just thought that was so cool that this is how it arrived at the record store. There's a lot of other ways they could have shipped this, and to me, this is just a really cool way to package everything up. It also weighs a ton. This is a heavy, heavy box, so excuse me as I put this down because holding it up is starting to give me cramps, man. I don't go to the gym very often. I spend my time in record stores, not gyms, so I don't have the muscles that is required to handle a box set like this. All right, let's get this bad boy out of the box. Wow, it is heavy, man. It is heavy. I guess these are all 180 gram, if I remember right, 180 gram records. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, 180 gram records. Replicas of the 7 original mono US album releases, analog cut from the original master tapes on 180 gram audiophile vinyl, marketing, includes inserts featuring in-depth essay on the history of the album in each LP. So that's what the hype sticker says up here. And then, of course, it gives you all of the albums that are featured in the box set. The side has this beautiful red, very bright colors. The colors on this it's glossy, but it's very vibrant. The red and the blue and the white just pops out really, really well. On the back, you have the same, but the apple split in half, right? In the front, the apple's whole. And then again, on this side, you have basically a repeat what's on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut open. I'll do that by just cutting the square out here so I can preserve this shrink on the box. And then we'll take a look at each one of these albums, and then we'll pause this video to come back after I do some listening. But let's go ahead and open these bad boys up. The Beatles' official US debut album, Meet the Beatles, introduced America to the Fab Four's electrifying energy. Packed with original Lennon and McCartney hits like I Wanna Hold Your Hand and All My Lovin', the album balanced their vibrant songwriting with covers like Till There Was You. This Capitol Records release catapulted Beatlemania into the American mainstream, marking the start of a cultural phenomenon. Released mere months after their first US album, the Beatles' second album capitalized on their growing popularity. Featuring a mix of high-energy rock and soulful rhythm and blues, highlights include covers like Roll Over Beethoven and originals such as Thank You Girl. It showcased their raw energy and adaptability, further solidifying their dominance in the American charts. A Hard Day's Night was a groundbreaking moment in pop music, serving both as a soundtrack to the first featured film and a testament to their growing songwriting prowess. Featuring all original compositions, hits like the title track and Can't Buy Me Love demonstrated their ability to craft unforgettable melodies while deeper cuts like If I Fell showcase their emotional depth and harmony-rich arrangements. Something New continued the Beatles' US chart dominance, featuring tracks from A Hard Day's Night alongside other session recordings. With songs like I'll Cry Instead and I Love Her, it offered American fans a fresh glimpse into the group's evolving artistry, blending playful rock tunes with tender ballads. A unique entry in the Beatles' discography, The Beatles' Story is a documentary-style album rather than a traditional musical release. Featuring interviews, press conference recordings, and narration, it offered fans an intimate look behind the scenes of Beatlemania at its peak. It captured the energy and frenzy surrounding the band during their meteoric rise in America. Beatles 65 reflected the band's maturation as songwriters and performers. With tracks from the Beatles for Sale sessions including I Feel Fine and She's a Woman, the album balanced upbeat rockers with introspective ballads like I'll Be Back. It hinted at a more sophisticated sounds that the band would explore in years to come. The early Beatles served as a retrospective introduction for latecomers to the band's early material. Compiling tracks from their pre-Meet the Beatles recordings, hits like Love Me Do and Twist and Shout showcased the raw energy and charm that first captured the world's attention, celebrating the roots of their unparalleled success. All right, folks, so I just spent the evening and most of the morning this morning listening to all the records. I got them ultrasonic clean, re-sleeved, and put into individual outer sleeves, so therefore I can protect the integrity of the jacket. And I want to break down this review based on first the packaging and then getting into the sonics of the album and then my overall thoughts. First off, the packaging, it's pretty consistent throughout. I mentioned when I was unboxing that the actual outer box is phenomenal. It is a really nice quality cardboard. The colors on this is very vibrant. There's no bleeding of any colors of sorts. It's printed really well. It's thick. It's meant to last. And even the insert is really sturdy cardboard. So I think this is a box set that can withstand a lot of aging over time and is probably still look good years from now sitting on your shelf. So I'm really happy with the outer box. I think what I'm about to say is pretty consistent through all the albums. So I'm just going to pick the second album here for demonstration purposes. But let's just say that from the cover standpoint, I think they did a great job recreating all these album covers. What a lot of folks don't know is that when they make reissues like this, a lot of times they don't have the original artwork. They have to recreate it. And they do that usually by doing a high-res scan, doing some color correction, some photoshopping basically, and then they reprint them. So are they identical to the originals? No, I think if you did a side-by-side comparison, you'll see slight deviations in some of the color tones, and you'll also see some deviations in the overall quality of the jackets. They're probably not going to, or the images, they're not going to be as crisp as the originals. But looking at it like this, it looks great. And that's not saying they're not quality. These are really good quality jackets. They look like they're something that you would be proud to show off to your friends or to other collectors. Yeah, I think it checks all those boxes. And while the covers themselves, the jackets themselves, are not a Stoughton jacket, nor are they a tip-on, they are a direct print jacket. They do have a sturdiness to them. They have a sense of something that can also withstand some wear and tear over the years. They're very crisp, kind of high quality cardboard, and I think that this is going to really last a long time on your shelf so long as you give it the appropriate care that it deserves. For the inner sleeves, I also was very impressed on the recreation of all of these fantastic albums of the time. I'm one of those guys that actually does enjoy seeing what that was being promoted back in time. And what's great about this box set is that you get a whole snapshot of albums that were being released in 1964. For the inner sleeves themselves, they are also very thick cardboard, and made to last the test of time. As far as the insert here, where we have the photograph of the mono tape, some mastering details, and a short essay, which is created for every single record. I think this is a wonderful insert. This is really nice to have and be able to look through and enjoy while you're listening to the record. The quality in a print here is really nice. It's kind of this semi-gloss look and feel to it, and it just, again, is quality. What I've done to try to help preserve some of this is that the mastering notes does fit perfectly inside of the inner sleeve, keeping that inside of the jacket itself, and then I've re-sleeved the records, which is on the beautiful rainbow label for most of the records, except for the Hard Day's Night, which is on United. I think this is a presentation that is really stands up and sets a good entry into what you're about to get within the grooves of the record. So hands down, I think that the artwork here and the packaging is really done well. I don't have any complaints, especially that every album included a polyline sleeve. Yes, I replaced that. That's just me. I know a lot of folks would be really thrilled the fact that they don't have to replace those sleeves. I do have a little gripe. I think every record needs to be cleaned before they're played. There is like kind of manufacturing dust on all of these records, or at least in my box set they were. So every record I did have to drop into the ultrasonic cleaner before I dropped them on my turntable. Could have just got away with a little brushing. Yeah, possibly, but I'm lazy and the ultrasonic cleaner is convenient. So let's get into the sonics of these albums, because I know that's what you really care about. And you probably already done some reading about these albums and already know that they are cut hot. Well, they are, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, let's be honest here, folks. These were never audiophile recordings. This is never going to be a mastering or a reissue that's going to, blow your mind away. But what you do get here is a really nice mastering that is made for the modern turntable and is going to be very enjoyable for you to listen to. I think that the dynamics sound really good. The soundstage sounds wonderful. It's a nice wide soundstage, which is great for a mono record. You could do really good imaging while you're listening to the band. Overall, I'm really pleased with the sound, especially coming from a mono album. Do I think I could live without these pressings? Yeah, potentially. If I had the originals and they were all in really mint condition, I think I could probably live without this box set. But I don't. In fact, most of the time when you try to find these records, they're all beat to heck. Not only is the jacket damaged and worn and has ring wear, or it looks like it's been through a world war, the record themselves suffers from multiple different surface scratches or just abrasions that affect the sound quality overall, and it doesn't really give a wonderful, pleasing listening experience. The fact that you can grab these records now, whether you get them in the box set or individually, and they're remastered well, designed for today's turntables, and you're going to have wonderful sound coming out of these records and a great packaging. To me, it checks all the boxes. It's almost the age-old saying, what more do you actually want? Now, I know some Beatles fans out there will say, well, I want a different mastering. I want it in stereo. I want the UK. I want this. I want that. I want this. Yes, we are always going to want more. That's what music fans do. If you're a fan of a band, you always want more music. You always want it in a different way, a different presentation, etc. Well, you can't please the masses. And I think that this box does do a good job of pleasing the most. And I think that it is a very nice collectible item that I believe will hold its value, if not increase over time. Whether it's worth it or not is a different conversation. So let's talk about that. Is the box set worth the additional $130? Should you go run right out and try to find some of these still in stock, or try to buy them secondhand on the online market? Well, it really depends. It depends what type of Beatles fan you are. If you are somebody who is a Beatles collector and you like collecting all of the collectibles and you like everything that is a complete set, then of course the box set is worth the extra $130 that it would take to purchase if you would just buy the albums alone. So why is it $130 more, you might ask? Well, because not only are you getting that high quality box, plus you get the Beatles story. Now, for many, you're only going to listen to this album maybe once. And I use maybe because a lot of Beatles fans already know the stories of the Beatles. Now, you might put this on for nostalgic reasons, reliving where you were when you were younger and you first heard this album, or reliving some of the interviews and stories that are on this album. It might bring you back to your childhood. But I think for most people, this is a listen once, if at all, and maybe is not worth the extra $130. If you don't need the fancy box and you're not going to store them in the box to begin with, I would just go get the other 6 albums and skip the box. Don't pay the extra $130. But if you are a Beatles fan and you want something that you can cherish and hopefully pass down from generation to generation in your family, I think this box set is beautiful, it's gorgeous, and I really do feel it would be highly sought after. So here's my take on this. I believe the box set is absolutely worth it if you are a Beatlemania fan. If you love the Beatles and you have to have everything that they have come out with, you cannot go wrong with this box set. It is a gorgeous package throughout, so you're going to be really satisfied, and at that point, money is almost no object when it comes to Beatles collectibles. But for the average Beatle fan or somebody who just wants to build out their discography of Beatles records, I believe the better value is in purchasing each of the records individually, skipping the Beatles story and forgoing the box. I think you'll have a great time spinning these albums over and over again, playing them on your turntable and enjoying very well done mastering that will likely supersede anything that you've heard before. Will it be better than the original? Well, that's for you to say. If you have a nice original pressing, maybe you'll enjoy this, maybe you won't. It's really going to be dependent on your take on what you remember the Beatles sounding like. This is going to give you definitely a more modern listen. It's going to sound a lot different. It's going to be a lot hotter than you're used to. And for me, that was a good thing. These are 2 thumbs up. I really enjoy them. For me, they were completely worth the money and the time, and I'm going to cherish them for a really long time. That's my take on this, folks. I'd love to get your take. I want to know what you think. Did you have a chance to listen to this box set yet? And if so, drop me your comments below. Let me know what pressings are your favorite pressings. Do you like this new hotter mix? Tell me your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. And while you do that, I'm going to go get a cup of joe, and I'll see you on the next video.